Actually, it's super nice to be here. I usually tend to be super thankful about the people that helped me in my career, and definitely, Codecademy was one of my first places during the COVID pandemics. So I am completely thankful of that, and I follow some path. They are from a lot of tools and programming languages. Uh, at that moment, I was working hard during the pandemic in a hospital, so it was really difficult to study and to keep on the track. And one of the most important things was like trying to create my personal brand and try to like put all that effort into LinkedIn and work on that. Like tuning my resume, tuning my LinkedIn profile. But before talking about all of that, I want to propose you something. It's this is a workshop, so I would completely happy if we do this like kind of a round table. We are a lot of people here. I don't know if we will have time to share everything, but if you can, try to grab a piece of paper and something to write down. And if you don't have a piece of paper near to you, just open one document. That's great, Roberto. Awesome. You're old school like me. You need to take notes on paper. That's great. Um, and I will start presenting something for you guys. This is just some notes for me to keep on the track. I usually tend to speak a lot, and perhaps I go from one idea to another. So that's why I write down some notes here. For me, it's going to be super cool if we after this call, you get like some new tools and skills for taking some advantages on the job hunting. So the first thing I want to try to do with this paper and pen or pencil or whatever you have to write down, try to write 25 wishes or goals for this 2025. You know this guy, right? This is Warren Buffett. And it's super important that you write down this, and please send some reactions or something what you have done or a comment on the chat. This is kind of breaking the ice. No, Catherine, just to tell me if you finish, just tell me I'm done or something like that. So when almost everyone is done, I can go forward. No worries. The uncomfortable silence. I will drink my mate here. Good. That's really good, Catherine. I will tell you why later in a couple of minutes. Perfect. Perfect. Sorry, I don't know how to pronounce your name. It's just Navia, or that is the okay. Okay, Nelson, no worries. No worries. It's an exercise. It's really good to, if you can later on, try to take your time and write it down. Um, it's it's something that helped me a lot, and that's why I try to bring this to you today. Great, great. 17 is great. Well, I will give you 2 more minutes. So after that, sorry for the people that is entering right now. We are writing down 25 goals or or wishes that we are facing or trying to conquer on this 2025. No worries. It's funny. I I left medicine behind. That's good, Charlotte. No worries. That's perfect. Okay, let's move a bit. Well, Warren Buffett, he usually tries to like make this review of the year, and in the early beginnings of a new year, he write down this kind of 25 wishes. But the tricky part is that now you have to circle your 5 highest priorities, just 5. And that's why I say to Catherine that it was good that she has only 5, but it's try to prioritize like the real important things and to avoid at all costs doing anything else on the remaining 20. I'm a medical doctor, so this quote is extremely useful. That nobody can like remains. Nobody can like measure something that is not like taking notes on something. Like it's difficult to keep the track if you are not measuring something. Like if you want to see some progress, you need to like keep on tracking something like one lecture per day, 20 minutes per day, and use some rules on that. I usually tend to like try to settle my week. I also have 3 kids, so it's super important for me the time management. So I try to settle my week in a way that for example, I started learning guitar. So I try to play the guitar every day, like 20 minutes. But if one day for something I have no time, I try not to pass 2 days without practicing. It's like the most of the time that I won't be practicing is just 2 days. So I try to be super accurate with that rule myself. So try to track like, okay, Monday I practice, Tuesday too, and try to track that in a calendar or somewhere, so I can see visually what is happening during the week, the year, and it's super helpful. And also it's funny when you look through the whole calendar and you see, oh, I have been doing this for such a long time, and it's super helpful. And regarding the highest priorities, you know, sometimes like learning how to program or a programming language, or some new skills can be extremely frustrating. So sometimes you need to like go back to the first scenario, for the first place where you take this decision on embrace this path, on embrace this learning, and to remind you why you are doing this. Perhaps it's only about the money, perhaps it's only about the remote work. I don't know, but it's super helpful to like go back on track when you are dispersed, when you feel that nothing is progressing, nothing is going in the way you dream or you think about. So that was about this exercise, the things that I want to point it out for you today. And yeah, now let's start just talking about something that was really helpful for me. Also, I think it's going to be great for you too. Well, here, let me. This is the banner from. Okay, this is my LinkedIn profile. You can find me at Santi Caraballo. Here, I will paste it in the chat. You can add me. No worries on that. I didn't saw this one. Goals are for people who care about winning one, system are for people who care about winning repeatedly. Awesome. Thanks for that. You can add me there. We can connect. Usually, the most important thing about the most important thing about LinkedIn is to like be a real human. And one way to like kind of past the AI's tools that some people may have is try to get more than 500 connections. That is kind of the first thing that I can tell you about LinkedIn. But it's really good also that you have some tweaks here. Sorry for this, but I can't like put the website in English because it's taken something from my computer. But in here, you can see something like a public profile or URL on your personal website. And that is super important that you change this to like a real name here, because it's going to have kind of your name and hashes and a lot of stuff. So you can click on the pencil here, and in here you will be able to edit the URL. That's really important that you enter here like name and surname or some nickname, but to cut off the numbers and later and hyphens that it might have here. That is super important. Okay, that's the first two things. Oh, here I have one new connection. Well, so this is another important stuff here is to add on your description the tools that you are using. This is kind of keywords that the AI or the searching bars, the HR people have kind of another version of LinkedIn. So when they're looking for candidates, they have these keywords that they look for example, Python, for example, SQL. So if you have it here, it's like SEO positioning. Like you're going to get like on the top of the searches if you have in places like your description. And yeah, this is almost the same. You can click on the pencil here and edit your name, surname, and here it has like a title. So here put all the stuff that you know, like frameworks, programming languages, technologies, and that is also super descriptive and good. And one important thing also is like the about you stuff. to write it, and what are you dreaming, what are your, try to put something about soft skills also. If you have been leading people, if you have, it doesn't matter if you came from another environment like me. I was working in a hospital, but I try to translate that in a way that I can point out some soft skills that are important, like teamwork, being receptive to discuss and improve, and to critics, and to work all together for a better purpose, to lead people, to be working in stressful situations, and not losing the calm. I try to like translate everything in a way that I can resemble skills from the IT world. That is super important, and you can point it out on the about you section. There's another one. I think it's over here. You can add the section, and there is one that is like I don't know. I need to translate this. This is so outstanding. I don't think it's outstanding, but it's like something you want to show up like super up in the LinkedIn. So here you can enter like certifications that you may have from Codecademy, for example, the computer science path. When you get the certification, you can pin it here. Also, your resume, but please don't put like personal information, like email address or contact number, or just your skills. We are going to talk about a lot of how to like structure and architect your CV for passing the AI's filterings. But this is really good also. Like, it's kind of a show off about what you have been doing, because here you state that you know some tools. Here you say something about yourself, your life, and what you're willing to do, and some soft skills that you may have, and you want to share with the community. And here is like validating everything for more from the technical knowledge side than from the soft skill. This is kind of a good way to structure your LinkedIn account. Let me see, because I think there is some. Okay, perfect. One important thing also from LinkedIn is that you can research for companies that you are willing to work for. So, for example, I know I used to be working at Globant. So when you look for the company, then you can look for people inside the company. And also here, you can filter, for example, for the HR department. So that is a really good way to connect with people also. Don't worry about the limit, just send connection to everyone you came across. Try to, if you're looking for data engineering jobs, if you're looking for, I don't know, Swift with iOS development, Android development, try to look companies and also people that is with the current role that you're willing to do in that company, and try to connect with them. Usually the best approach to get into the company of your dreams is not about you applying to that company, but getting someone inside the company to refer you. And you might not know anyone in the company. So just connect, and don't be afraid to, like, after connecting with someone, send a message and say, hey, I want to know what tools are you using in the company, which is a tech stack. I know if you have some information about what is the steps for the interview, like how many steps they do the process has, and it has whiteboarding, coding, has it, I know, like personal interview with the CEO. What are the steps that will take you into the company? Really good questions, and they can only be answered for someone that has been through the whole process. So it's really good that you try to connect with all of them, and also with the HR department. Oh, sorry, my little baby is here. Sorry, bear with me 1 second. Sorry for that. Um, okay, my little baby wake up from the rest, and she was crying a lot. Okay, so we are talking about this. Try to connect with people in companies that you may like. It doesn't matter if it is like Meta, Tesla. It doesn't matter. Try to connect with all the people that you can. Sometimes when you are sending like a lot of connection through LinkedIn, it will say like you reach the limit for, I don't know, 200 invitations. The next day this is going to be like you can add more people, so send invites to everyone. If you get like you get a connection with the C levels of the company, that is also really good, because you can talk with them about the tech stack, the blockers, or something that is happening through the company right in that moment that you connect, and you can think about how to solve that and try to answer what will you do if you enter the company with that problematic that they have. There is kind of strategies that you can use to approach your first IT job. Um, this is almost everything about LinkedIn. So to recap this, try to create good connections with people. More than 500, it's okay. Then try to enter the most important keywords on your profile, like the role that you're willing to do. If you have some certifications, programming language that you feel comfortable with, and you might enter also technologies that are like trendy and also good for these kind of filters that the HR people will have. So the next thing is try to look for companies that you are willing to work with. Look for people in the HR levels or with the role that you want to practice or to work. And yeah, just send connections to everyone that you came across with that important things. Also here, in about you, try to enter soft skills, and this is a section of kind of outstanding, it says, but I don't think that is the correct translation. But to show off something that you complete, or some milestones like certifications that you have taken and passed, that is super good. Okay, I think if something else is coming to my mind, I will go back, but I think we are done with LinkedIn, the website. So as Stephanie says, the best thing for getting into the IT shop is applying to jobs. I have been applying like, I know it was like 20 applies per day for a month. So at the first I didn't get any reply back. It was so frustrating, because I applied to a lot of job huntings and posting and chat with a lot of people, and I was thinking, what I'm doing wrong? What happened that anyone get back to me and says, well, we can sell some interview with you? Or it's like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I have my CV, I have been studied a lot, I have some certifications, I have well, the knowledge, my GitHub is is good. I have some projects. I thought I was doing everything in the right way, and I didn't get any any reply back, and I was like super frustrated about that. So frustrated that I entered to LinkedIn and looked for jobs, and every job offering or job posting that it says, I don't know, some programming language that I didn't know, I start learning that on Codecademy, on YouTube, on everywhere. Like I started with Python, but then I started learning JavaScript, then I started learning Swift, then I started learning Android with Kotlin. Then and that was not even good. That was so bad because after a while I started getting the reply backs and I started getting some one-on-one interviews with HR departments, and they have like they have a milestone where they get to know you in a one-on-one, and they filter you just because silly questions. When you learn a lot of languages or you know how to code in a lot of languages, but you are only scratching the surface of that language, it's like they ask one silly question and they know that you are on an entry level. So perhaps they will say, no, I prefer another candidate that has more experience on this. So try to define yourself in which area of the yeah, it's super wide, but of the IT world you want to enter. I think I read from the comments on Zoom that someone is doing the computer science path from Codecademy. That is awesome. It's super good because you have a general knowledge about memory stuff, well, Python, SQL, database management systems, how to make an entity relational diagram. You have a lot of things there, but try to, after that, to decide, well, I'm really keen on front end, back end, data, and try to go deep on one subject. That is something that one of my friends told me. He told me, go with Python, go deep on Python, and definitely when you get to the technical interview, you will have all the skills you need to pass it. Here there is super good material on that, on passing the technical interview on Codecademy. There is one on Python. I also think there is one on JavaScript and Java. So if you are learning one of those languages, try to, after you feel comfortable with that, go with these kind of courses, because they are going to give you all the skills you need for a whiteboarding interview, because they teach you how to think about data structures and algorithms to be successful on the technical live coding. The most important thing on applying to jobs is that every interview you have is an instance of learning. So try to take the interviews in that way, you know, like if you get to an interview, don't think about this is the only bullet I have, this is the only opportunity that I will have. Don't think about that. Just go and learn. And as Roberto, try to have a piece of paper in front of the computer, and when they ask you something that you don't know, write it down. Write it down, and then you will have like your personal guide for applying to jobs and passing the technical interview, because all the stuff that you didn't know, you're going to study and you're going to present to another interview, and definitely once it's going to be your job. So go for that. Try to take notes on the important things that you may lack of the answer on that moment. And after a couple of interviews, you're going to feel like comfortable, and then it's going to be like something more in in your day life. Um, Actually, now I'm super good at my job. I feel like this is a company I dream about. It's not the best one. It's not the best paying job ever, but the company is super good, and I'm still taking interviews, but with other companies, and I don't want to get a new job. It's just for being on the trend, being like reviewing my tech stack, on trying to get insights about where the market is going. If I need to learn new skills on my actual role, that is data engineering, if I need to improve or go deeper in some topics like I know streaming pipelines. So the interviews are an instance of learning, and I encourage you to take as many interviews as you can. It doesn't matter if it is for getting a real job, or just to learn, just to get insights about what you are doing, and and how you can track a better path, a career path for yourself. Well, this is a real good one. I don't know if you can get the idea behind this picture, but you know who are them? Besides Legos, obviously. if you if you guess who they are, I'm going to the next slide. Yeah, the Musketeers. Well, this picture resembles something super super important. I think it's the most important thing. And the Three Musketeers has this quote: "All for one and one for all." And this is about like getting into communities. The Codecademy community is huge, is awesome, and there is a lot of that in the IT world. Obviously, sometimes you will encounter kind of bad people, but the majority of the people in the IT world is really good, and they will be always willing to help someone. When I was studying, I always I always tell this story. It seems to be like cliche, but it happened to me. One of my friends was working at Tesla, um, and I was starting coding. I was with JavaScript. I didn't know about HTML and CSS, and I was super bad on front end development. And one day I was taking this tutorial on YouTube, and I was following the video and the coding side, and the code didn't work. It didn't work. And I was just copying from the video. I say, what happened here? I'm just doing the same. So I talked with this friend. He told me, let's set a Google Meet and just a live call, and let's see and go through your code. And like, well, I entered the meeting obviously, and in like 10 seconds he told me, line 14, you don't have a semicolon there. And I say, no way, no way. I was copying everything from here. I talked with this guy. He was working at Tesla, and I take time off from him from Tesla. Definitely, he was earning more than I can pay for these 10 minutes that we have a call. and and he told me it's completely fine. Don't feel bad or shy or nothing. Just ask. When you show the people that you try hard and you didn't get the answer, and you don't know what is happening, but before like raising your hand and asking, you have take some steps on debugging, on go back and forward your code, test, put some print statements. You have tried out and it doesn't work. Go for someone and ask for help and say, hey, I have this problem with this and this and this and this. I tried all of this and it didn't work. So I need some new and fresh eyes to look at it. And definitely people is going to help you. Someone is going to help you. If you post that on Stack Overflow or any community, someone is going to help you. And also this all for one and one for all is about getting someone as an accountability partner. It's super good, because you're going to feel frustrated, you're going to feel sad, you are undermotivated, and all the bad stuff that everyone has in their own life. But if you are going to do and you're taking this hard decision on keep on track, and also you share this with someone else, this is going to be so much easier. That is the most important concept and thing that I can tell you. Is try to be with someone else in this path. Someone, well, you can talk about your code or frustration that you have, or something that happens to you perhaps in the outside world of the IT, something, so you can share your learning experience or some articles that you read and you feel like it helped you clear some concepts. And also today you have like AI, like ChatGPT, Claude. There is a lot of them, agents all over the internet, and I'm kind of like for the early stages, it's sometimes going to make some code that you might find like difficult to read or to understand. Anyway, you can ask for these tools to explain the code line by line, but it's better for the early stages that you go with like books or with someone else, like an accountability partner, so you can like build your knowledge from the ground. And when you have when you feel confident with one language, that you think that you can build something, try to start doing projects. And that is the best way of learning, like putting everything into practice, into project, into it doesn't have to be like a super well-defined architecture and super end-to-end project, but try to take advantage of also from the project of Codecademy to put everything in practice there. Also, you can search for projects into YouTube. Usually there is a lot of people that is like making live projects on YouTube videos, so you can follow and stop and play whenever you want. So that is also super important. Like try to consolidate all your theoretical knowledge into practice on one project. And yeah, this is something that I read about this code of the Three Musketeers. So this is what I mean when I say to you, like, try to find an accountability partner, because you pledge your loyalty to the person that you're picking, and everything should be the other way around also. So you're going to like take this problem together and tackle this together, and like face all the challenges that you're going to encounter in your path of learning with someone else. And definitely it's going to be super easier if you have someone to talk about all the things that you may encounter on the path. This is almost everything from my side. One thing that I really want to share with you is the resumes. I'm going to share this folder. So I think it's here. Yeah, here. So no, let's see here. So I need to set this one to everyone that has the link. Okay. I'm going to paste this on the chat, the Zoom chat. So this is a template that I started using. Is from Pirate King. Is one YouTuber that has been applied. Well, he has been working for like Microsoft, Meta. I think he rejects some offering from another fangs like Google. But the most important thing is how this guy structured the resume. You can pick the dark or white one, it doesn't matter. But look, something that is really important. In this, sorry, before jumping into this, try to make a copy. So if anyone else is coming like after you, they don't lose and these templates remain here. They are in internet also, but perhaps it's easier for you to grab it from here. So I think you can click on the three dots here and says create a copy or make a copy. And this is going to appear on your Google Drive. So you can edit that and use it as for yourself. Well, a really important thing on the resumes is that you state on the first line or the second line, like all the skills that you have. Look here. He entered all the programming languages and some kind of tooling in the first line. Then something about cloud computing, DevOps, testing. And after that, well, this is like super high level concept of OP. And after that, he also, in the third line, is about architecture, design, and roles like backend, frontend, full stack, and language skills. So why is this important? Because here, like almost all the companies have AI tools for scan the resumes. So if you're applying for a job that is looking for a Python developer, and on your resume, it doesn't say like Python, like in plain text, or this is like SQL Server, for example. So you're going to like get less points on that, and perhaps you're not going to get like the HR interview, just the intro one, to get to know the company, to get to know like the explanation of the job description and the job role. So this is super important to have a like a header with all the skills that you feel comfortable with. And the second real important thing is your experience. You might be lacking of experience in the IT world, but as I said at the early beginning, try to translate your experience from your personal job or life into skills for the IT world. For example, when you were working, perhaps you were working in a company that you had to take important decisions, or some chapter on the company depends on the decisions you make, or perhaps you have people in charge. So try to be super explanative on that, on the experiences. Try to translate these important soft skills of leadership, of being open to critics, to improve. Like this is really good to state on the experience. And also, if you have some projects that perhaps you state here on the skills that you know JavaScript, so perhaps you can enter here that you have been working on a project where you make a wave scraper and you take all the information into some relational or NoSQL database, and then after that you create, I don't know, a dashboard or something. So try to explain here the tools you have been using and why you feel comfortable with these ones that you state here. So if you look through this resume, for example, he enters here Azure, C#, .NET, Cosmos, and then he explained that with with plain text on what were the responsibilities on the companies that he has been working on. My personal CV, for example, I have another like section here because here in Argentina we are not used to have this kind of cover letters. So the first thing on my resume, let me share my resume with you. I don't think I have it handy, but perhaps it's here. Yeah, this is it. So, for example, in my personal case, I feel like my background in healthcare was good for some project I was applying for. Like they were doing something on the healthcare niche. So here you can enter a paragraph like describing yourself in the third person. It's pretty weird. You are talking about yourself as if you were someone else, but it's a way that during this kind of all the interviews that I have, one of them was with a company that it was a consultancy company, and they have this whole team of resume coaches, and they helped me to build this resume, and definitely my strikes on success on applying to interviews works. So I don't know why, but this is working. So try to perhaps enter some relevant information about yourself in a short paragraph. Like if someone you pass a filter from AI and someone is going to read your resume, they have like a short story of you with the most relevant things that you want to point out. Usually try to write something related with the company or the job offering you are applying for. For example, in this case, I was applying for one company that was on the healthcare industry, and also they were using Google Cloud platform as a cloud environment. So I state all the things that I have been working on the platform in the past jobs. So as I told you, then the skills is super important, and then the experience is important to enter some of this in past, like what you have done, but in past, like migrated, led a team of 5 people, designed or developed. So here again, you are trying to convalidate all the skills that you have been like posted here into the experience that you have. And here, one framework for writing down your experience is the CAR framework. Like it's C for context, A for analysis, and R for resolution. For example, I work at Globan. We have to migrate this legacy code from Airflow. So the analysis was that there was a lot of bad practices on that code. We need to refactor, and the important thing was that we refactored that. So the resolution was that we refactor the code, but improve it also for the it was this job was for Paramount. So we work on the Super Bowl show. They were transmitted on Pluto TV, I believe. So these pipelines that we refactor and improve were able to handle all the people that was entering to see the show through streaming platforms like Pluto. So that framework helps you structure a lot what you have been doing on your jobs. Like if you can like translate everything you have done like in previous experiences using this framework and pointing to like business goals that you achieve. For example, another one here was we were working for a fintech company. We have a project that they are migrating an on-premise system to Google Cloud, and we analyzed all the pipelines that they had, and they were using CSV as plain files format, and we decided to go with another format like it is called Abro, and we reduced the storage costs on 70%. So that is something really important to say. It doesn't have to be on the IT field, like for example, I was working in the health in the hospital. I led like a lot of people in the ER. I was working on ER, so you can say I had, I know, in my case, in trying to translate this to the car framework, will be like I was working 24 shifts, like on weekends. I was letting like I know 20 people on that shift. We had a lot of injuries and people intoxicated with substance, and we reduce the problematics and mortality in whatever percent. That is a really good way to structure all your experience and to show uh, like the interviewer or the C levels that you care not only about getting to know the tools or the tech stack or the framework that they are using, but you have implemented something that solve a lot of problems or perhaps reduce cost or latency issues, throughput issues, and that is a really good framework for state this. Well, education you can enter if you think that is related and important with the role you are applying for, but this is almost everything about the resumes. So to recap, all the resumes now, it doesn't matter that they don't have your picture. So it's okay to have only text. Another important thing is try to condense everything in one page. This is 2 pages, but try to condense in only one page. You can have this introduce paragraph about some experience that you think that are good to tell to get to know you. This skills is super good to have it because it's going to help you to pass through the AI agents. And experience, remember to state companies or roles that you had and use the car framework. That is also super important. Okay. I think we almost cover everything. I want to go to the chat and look for questions that you have been posting here. The first one was something about my experience on Globant, right? Let me check.
Santiago, if it's easier, I can ask you the questions, and if you want to
Okay.
do a Q&A style, so
Yeah.
time for you to go back and forth. Let me scroll up a little bit for some of the questions. Everyone else, if you have a question for Santiago, but you haven't put it in the chat yet, feel free to do so now. We'll go through the questions. Um, okay, let's see. Where is our first one?
I will stop sharing so you can
What's
see.
more important, the quantity of connections or the quality of connections? This person says, I used to post my projects, and then in the statistics I see, I have a lot of people that are journalists that watch my posts because I was a journalist, and my network is basically composed by journalists. I have near 2,000 connections. Should I try to add more data analysis?
Mhm. Definitely. The first thing is try to reach the 500 people. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be like the role you are looking for or the companies you are looking for. But after you reach that level of people, or in between, like getting to the 500 connections, try to look for relevant connections. Like in this case, try to connect with, if you are seeking for a data analyst job, try to connect with more data analysts. Another good thing about LinkedIn is also when you see some posts on data analytics, or comment on that. Like a comment on the post is better than a like or a connection, because it shows interaction, and that reflects something on. There is one index that LinkedIn has, like behind the scenes. um, I don't remember like the name of the framework that they have behind the scenes, but it's an index. Yeah, the social selling index. Thank you so much, Rafael. So when you interact with communities, posts, and people that is on the roles that you are willing to apply for, it's getting higher numbers on your social selling index. So yeah.
Awesome. The next question, what courses or certifications and projects did you have to do in the beginning?
Actually, I only have like certification from Codecademy and another bunch of like academies that I was like taking courses of. Uh, the most important thing on my first job was like being open to learn. It was more kind of a social interview, like social skills, and they were like looking for a data engineer. I didn't even know that role on that time. I was trying to learn machine learning because I thought that the most easy way to get into tech was like combining my background as a medical doctor with data engineering stuff. So sorry, with data science stuff, so I can make some models on that and work for a pharmacy or health tech company. And actually I entered into a telecommunication company, and it was on a role that I didn't know it exists. So the most important thing is like get all the tech stack that you can to do the job that you are willing to do, and try to make some projects on that. So when you get into the interview and they ask, do you know something about, I don't know, for example, in data analysis, they say, do you know something about Power BI? And you say, yeah, I know Power BI, and I have been doing this dashboard with this and this because I'm really keen on the stock exchange, and I have working with fetching data from this API. And they say, oh, okay, you know that, fast API or something to make requests, or so that is a really good way on showing off your knowledge and the compatibility between you and the job offering that you are applying for.
Thank you. Another question, I'm going to rephrase it. The question was learn the basics and master a specific skill. Is that the winning formula? Would you say that's the winning formula? And if it's not, what would you say is the winning formula?
Well, that is a really, really good and tough question because I think nowadays it's not all about like touch skills. So sometimes we don't put effort on learning the soft ones, the soft skills on how to communicate well with people, and that is extremely important because usually you are going to enter into a group of developers, and if you want to get higher on your career path, you might be working with the stakeholders, you might be working with non-technical people, and you need to translate everything you know in your favorite programming language into something that a non-technical people can understand. So I think you should like give importance to learn like the deep knowledge on how to solve interview questions, on whiteboarding, on live coding, on data structures and algorithms, but also try to be accurate on how you communicate and how you state on your knowledge. That is, I think that is the winning formula. Like, feel comfortable enough to solve some HackerRanks intermediate level like challenges, but also work a lot on soft skills.
Thank you. Soft skills is a good one. And I think sometimes people tend to forget how important soft skills is. So thank you for reemphasizing that. There are two questions about just resume car framework. So someone's resume is 8 pages long and uses about 3 bullet points to describe their experience. Should they prepare one-page resumes tailored for each of the job companies that they're applying for using the CAR framework? And then someone else also asked, for each role, should you use the CAR framework?
I mean, it's a really good framework. You don't have to use it for everything, but it's really good to state that like in this way of on communicating well the things that you have been learning and you have been taking care about. For example, you are working on a personal project on I know a website, and you through the statistics you get to know that all the people that is entering to your website is far away from where it is hosted. So you make a replica or a CDN next near for the people that is consuming that website, and with that you reduce the latency or something like that. So if you kind of state that, probably the best way is going to be the CAR framework, because you get some problem, you analyze the problem, and you react and you solve the problem. That is a really good way, like for the storytelling or for your experience. And the people that is like having the CVs in super long pages, usually the main thing here is like, if you look for a job offering on LinkedIn and you can see the count of people that already applied to that job, it's like perhaps it's thousand of people. So what do you think? Are the HR people going to read your 8 pages? Probably not. So try to condense the most information and the most relevant one in 1 page or 2 pages, and also try to perhaps select from your experience the one that are more suitable for the job you're applying. For example, perhaps you're applying for a fintech and you have a lot of experience working with money or business or something. So try to like select from your experience the ones that are aligned with the job you are applying for. So you might have like different CVs for different areas on the IT world or different uh, like companies like fintech, healthcare, whatever, and you might have different templates or CVs for that.
Thank you. And on the same note about interviewing and cover letters, somebody asked, how do I address the questions in the interview, which are focusing on the career change, a resume gap, or anything related that is not thought of as a usual career path that most of the people who are applying for the same job have? How do you address those awkward moments in your resume?
Actually, I try to like break the ice with the joke. It's my there is the personal touch of you. Usually, I try to kind of uh, like inverse the awkward moment. Try to the HR people feel awkward of not read my CV. So my opening quote is like, I don't know if you are read it, but I used to be a medical doctor, and that's it. When I say that, they say, okay, why? So like I try to like play around with that. Obviously, it wasn't on my first interview that I get to this opening quote. It was perhaps like in the I know perhaps the 30th one, but try to like play. It's playing with this opportunity that you're having, and try to learn and have fun, because it's all about that. Life is about that, of having fun. So try to have fun on that, and yeah, feel comfortable with that, and you can practice. That's why I encourage you to apply for every job. It doesn't matter if it is an intermediate, a senior level. Just apply, and if you get a reply back and it's good, better for you. And if it's not good, you learn something, you can change, or perhaps you get to HR and they say, uh, we don't understand what happens here and here, and you try to explain and try to look through the faces or the expression that they are like making when you tell something. So you're going to get better and better for one interview after another. So at the end, you're going to learn something new.
Thank you. Someone had a question a little bit more about your job now.
Okay.
As a data engineer, how much of your day is creating pipelines or cleaning data? And which you're stuck? Yeah, just maybe share a little bit more about maybe what tools or skills you need to do the work that you're doing now. And I guess to answer this question specifically, creating pipelines or cleaning data, is that something that you do in your work on the day to day?
Okay. Well, I must say that the career path of data engineering Codecademy is really, really good. I'm playing around with that right now. It's really good. You will have a lot of knowledge and like super important skills on data engineering if you go through that path. Um, Data engineering is like this kind of job, like you love it or you hate it. But for me, it's the best hybrid between like the mathematics of data science that I don't like, and the software engineering skills. So you are kind of in the middle, because there is one book that explains this so much better than myself. It's called Fundamentals of Data Engineering from Joe Rees. Actually, he kind of picture the data engineering life cycle. You can get a free copy of that book on Red Pandas. on the internet. But actually, he kind of designed this. Let me share the screen. It's a framework that is called the Data Engineering Life Cycle. So this is it. So I don't know why it's not opening big. Okay, so the whole thing about data engineering is like happening here. Like you will have ingestion, transformation, and serving, and this is kind of all this process is going to be interacting with some storage. So this book talks a lot about all of this in this picture, like you will have something like a source system that is going to produce some data. You need to get that data, transform it in a way that perhaps the analytics people needs in some schema, or a machine learning model needs to make some predictions, or you are going to feed again your pipeline and get more clean and better data for later on usage. So pipelines usually are the latest step that we take, because the first thing is try to get involved with the people that is generating the data if you can. Sometimes they are only APIs, so you need to interact with the documentation to get to know everything that you can retrieve from there, and how you are going to parse all that data and structure in a format that is suitable for the end use case scenario. But here, the most important thing is to know which is the end game for this data you are retrieving or structuring. And it's all about soft skills. You need to go to your stakeholders, to the business people, and perhaps C-levels, or some responsible from some project or dashboarding, and you need to interact a lot there, and you need to get involved into what is happening, what they need, in which frequency, which volume, what is the main problem they are having. So the first thing you have to do is make this whole questionnaire about big data, the volume, velocity, variety of the data, and at the end, in which format they need that data and for what purpose. And to gather all that information, you will need a lot of soft skills and re-asking again and again, and perhaps go to another people and ask the same questions in the same team. And after you consolidate all of that, you implement your data pipeline. And yeah, I think that is the ratio. It's 80% soft skills and 20% building pipeline.
Thank you. And then our last question before we wrap up here. When encountering a problem or interview situation, can you use programming logic and design as the context of the situation? Use systems analysis and design as analysis, and then data structures and algorithm examples as a resolution.
Yeah, definitely. The most important thing on the live coding and technical interviews is not not generating this awkward silence. Is always trying to speak what you are thinking, speak out loud what you are thinking. For example, I know the problem is clean some data, or return a list of the I know the one question that I remember I had in one interview was two lists of numbers, and I need to know to set a true or a boolean, to return a boolean if one of them in one list and another adds at X number, for example 8. So I had to work around with that and to see if every element on the list matching with another from the other list adds to what number. So I was always talking about I will pick this data structure because I think this is better for this. So can I make this assumption on there are no repetitive numbers into the list? Can I? So I was like asking for kind of asking for help, but without asking for help, like trying to, okay, I'm going to use this and this because I think this is better performance for this scenario. I need to, after this sort, so perhaps this sorting algorithm is going to be like a linear complexity execution. So when you're like telling the steps you're taking into account, they will be more open to help you and point you into the right direction in the interview. And again, that is soft skills. It's like working around telling, I'm going, this is my first step, or this is my first assumption. And yeah, be proactive on the communication.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Everyone here, thank you so much for asking such great questions and being present and engaged and being here till the very end. We hope that this event was valuable for you. I am actually going to put in the chat right now, if I can grab the link, ways to connect with Santiago after this event. And I'm going to put it right now in the chat. He is on X and also on LinkedIn. He is also a community member on Circle. So you can also find him there and message them there if you would like as well. As I mentioned, the event recording will be on the event page, which I will also put in the chat shortly after today's meeting. And I hope this was all really valuable. If you have any further questions for Santiago, you can put them in the comments as well in the event page. And if not, we'll see you at the next event. Just so you know, we have some events that are running right now. We have a coding challenge that's running till the end of the month, which I put in the chat. Anyone can join, doesn't matter how much you know or don't know. You can do a code that is comfortable to your learning level. And at the end of the month, we have another skills workshop, which follows our T Cozy course on Codecademy. And this is part two because part one was such a hit, they demanded for more. So I hope to see all of you at one of those events or both. And Santiago, thank you again so much for your time. We know you're so busy and we appreciate you carving this time to speak your story with our community. We really appreciate it. And everyone here, I hope you enjoy the rest of your day or your night, and we will see you around. Thank you all.
See you all. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye.